Hi, Catherine Bell, founder of the Awakened Company for Mindful News Network. And in July's segment, I would like us to have some consideration for the importance of self-awareness and burnout. I cannot tell you how many leaders have told me stories of them either falling apart when they got home from work at night and or sitting in parking lots crying from complete overwhelm. And it really does not have to be this way. So first of all, let's look at the importance of self-awareness. We know that the highest performing leaders are those that are self-aware, and yet according to HBR, only about 10 to 15% of leaders are self-aware. So there's a real invitation for us to work on our self-awareness, to take radical responsibility for our lives and how we show up. We also know that in North America, about 50% of people are burnt out at work and burnt out in their lives. I don't know about you, but I believe that there's a different way of being and doing in the world. So knowing this data around self-awareness, around burnout, I would like to invite in a new way to work. The only way we're going to solve our planetary challenges are by working together differently. And that work begins with ourselves. So how do we become more self-aware? One of the things and one of the roadmaps that we use to help leaders become more self-aware is something called the Enneagram. And it's a model of 9 different archetypes, or I prefer to look at it as a process map because we have access to all 9 different points. So I invite you to consider and look into the Enneagram. We have a lot of free videos on our YouTube on the Enneagram. So please take a look at that and understand, what are your default patterns? What are default patterns that are causing this achievement addiction, the over-identification with work, and the over-identification with drive and compulsion? It's almost like work gives us gold stickers all over, gives us affirmations. Yet what on a soul level or on a stream level are we really wanting for our lives? What is our real internal gold versus the external addictions to do more, and then end up in the parking lot burnt out as these CEOs and leaders? Let's wake up to a new way of being and doing together, one that incorporates our stillness, one where we have more space in our lives to actually be creative. So the things we do, obviously executive coaching, we help leaders wake up in that way, but become more self-aware. Take time for pauses and book pauses in your calendar. Develop a different cadence in terms of how you work, and you'll actually find you might just be more productive. So let me give an example of this, is that the research has been shown if we're more mindful, if we take pauses in our day and we really direct our attention and awareness, we're more productive. So we're getting off the wheel of automaticity, which keeps us in this human doing loop. And it opens up, here's how we're going to be in the world, and we're more productive and less burnt out. It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? That the more we take pauses in our lives, the more productive we actually are. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm walking through the forest, the ideas just seem to flutter all about. And then I can actualize them in a more deliberate way. So what would be, I would like you to think for yourselves. First of all, have you ever had that experience of being totally burnt out and cry when you come home, or are in the parking lot before you enter the office just wondering, what is this all about? And if so, what have been some of your treatments or remedies or practices that you've empowered in yourself to become more self-aware and also to become more mindful and to reduce the burnout? I think we've all been given this precious human birth. and how we live matters. So I invite in more being into our doing so that we're not living a world of burning out ourselves, our planet, and our energy. So would love to hear from you. What are some of your practices as it relates to self-awareness and to burnout? Thank you so much for listening. Have a great July.